Hurry up, we have so much to get to. Perez Hilton and breaking news regarding the uncredited director of It Ends With Us and the credited director of the film, Justin Baldoni. As I shared with you all last week at the pre-trial hearing, the Plantation Princess's attorneys told the judge that by this Friday, February 14th, they would be filing an amended lawsuit against Baldoni and parties. Well, they're not ready. Her C-list lawyers sent a letter to the judge, Judge Lyman, asking for an extension. I've got my hands on the letter. Let's read this together. Oh, this is a lot more time. Dear Judge Lyman, Blake Lively respectfully moves for an extension of time to file her amended complaint to March 5th. A more than 2-week extension. Also, they asked the judge, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, seek clarification from the court. The deadline for any motion to dismiss is March 20th. Or alternatively, move to extend the deadline for the time to file any motion to dismiss to March 20th. Ms. Lively respectfully submits that an extension for filing an amended complaint as a matter of course to March 5th is warranted. I'm summarizing because it's a long letter. Well, guess what? Justin Baldoni's attorneys also submitted a letter to the court late yesterday. I've got that too. Justin Baldoni's attorneys say, Dear Judge Lyman, as counsel for Wayfarer Studios, Justin Baldoni, and everybody else involved, we write in response to yesterday's letter from counsel for Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, which requests extensions of their deadlines to amend their complaint and to file a motion to dismiss the Wayfarer party's amended complaint. Ooh! Notwithstanding the Lively party's inexplicable refusal to consent to a similar extension requested by the Wayfarer parties in the throes of the Los Angeles wildfires, the Wayfarer parties have no objection to the extensions sought by the Lively parties. Did you just catch that? Savage. Basically, they're like, yeah, you should get your extension. We don't have any problem with this. Take your time in filing your amended complaint. And by the way, when we asked for an extension to file our amended complaint during the LA fires, her legal team said no. Shame on the F-list actress and her C-list lawyers. Shameful! Ooh. There is a little interesting caveat here. However, if the court extends the Lively party's deadline to amend their complaint to March 5th, the Wayfarer parties respectfully request that the court extend the Wayfarer party's deadline to respond until April the 16th. That seems sensible to me. His letter says, unfortunately, the Lively party's letter goes further than a simple request for an extension of time, leveling unnecessary and baseless attacks on non-party Jed Wallace. We talked about him last week. He is suing Blake Lively, the social media expert guy. Baseless attacks on non-party Jed Wallace and the litigation pending against Miss Lively in the United States District Court for the Western District of Texas. Wait, let's go back and look at her letter for a minute. I did not initially read this, but according to the Woody Allen apologist's letter to the judge, quote, the modest extension which they're requesting, will allow for Miss Lively to address the extensive new facts and claims at issue in this litigation, Such an extension is also warranted given that after Miss Lively informed the court on February 3rd that she intended to amend her complaint to add additional parties and claims, one of those intended parties, Jed Wallace, along with his company Street Relations, filed an anticipatory and meritless 10-page complaint in federal district court in Texas regarding issues that substantially overlap with the issues in this litigation. The additional time requested will allow Ms. Lively to address properly the procedural issues arising from the unmeritorious lawsuit as well. Her C-list lawyers just outed themselves. Oh my God! If you didn't catch that, the attorneys for the hair care professional admitted that they were going to include Jed Wallace in her amended lawsuit. Let me read you that part again. On February 3rd, Ms. Lively informed the court that she intended to amend her complaint to add additional parties and claims, one of those intended parties, Jed Wallace. So it might have been anticipatory from Jed Wallace, but with good reason, because they were going to sue him. Include him in that lawsuit against Baldoni, Wayfarer, Jen Abel, Melissa Nathan, Jamie Heath. So, back to Baldoni's legal letter to the judge. What the Lively parties conspicuously fail to mention is that the now pending litigation in Texas was precipitated by Miss Lively, who initiated legal action against Mr. Wallace in Texas State Court on January 21st, approximately 2 weeks before he filed his federal lawsuit in response. While the Lively parties now claim that Mr. Wallace's Texas action suffers from serious issues with respect to jurisdiction, venue, and claims, in Ms. Lively's verified petition seeking a pre-suit deposition of Mr. Wallace, Ms. Lively acknowledges that jurisdiction in Texas is proper given Mr. Wallace's domicile. Additionally, while we're keeping it going. We're keeping it. Additionally, while the Wayfarer parties strenuously object to the Lively parties' assertion that Mr. Wallace's lawsuit is meritless or unmeritorious, it bears emphasis that Mr. Wallace is represented by separate counsel in that matter, and he is not a party in any case before this court. In summary, although the Wayfarer parties take exception to many of the representations advanced in the Lively parties' letter, the Wayfarer parties do not oppose their request for an extension, and in turn request a corresponding extension of the Wayfarer party's deadline to respond to the amended complaint to April 16th. Well, Judge Lyman gave a very quick response to Taylor Swift's former bestie, and he denied the Beanie aficionados' request. Sort of. Judge Lyman granted them an additional business day and the weekend. So now their amended complaint is due by Monday, February 17th. Oh, and I love that we learned so much new information from both of their letters. Let's discuss it all in the comments section. Let's go!